Welcome to
Grandpa is Him.
a fun microcast about everything and nothing in ordinary life. I am your host, Lynn Dimmick, and if I'm your host, then you're my guest, and I hope that you will enjoy this time that you spend with me. Before we jump into this episode, let's take a quick moment to revisit episode 9, where we talked about smoking, grilling, barbecuing, and the glorious cut of meat, tri-tip. Last month, I visited several of my children and their families, bringing along with us some California tri-tip, since it's a cut that's not widely available where they live. This past weekend, my youngest son Jacob gave it a shot. He prefers grilling hot and fast, but with a little coaching, we slowed things down a bit, and let me tell you, it turned out to be one of the most beautiful tri-tips I've ever seen. Even his kids, who are not big meat eaters, went back for seconds. That just proves brown food tastes good, and when it's done right, food speaks for itself. And speaking of things that seem simple but turn out to be surprisingly amazing, today's episode is all about products that defy logic but became massive hits. Welcome to Grandpa's Hymn. As grandpas, we have an unspoken duty to know stuff, random stuff that might dazzle or completely confuse some young minds. Today, we're exploring some of the most unexpected, quirky, and let's be honest, borderline ridiculous products that made millions. You've seen them before, those inventions that make you go, how in the world did that become a thing? We'll get ready to laugh, be amazed, and maybe even question your own life choices as we take a look at these strange products that turn from what to wow in sales. Let's dive in. First up is a product that everyone remembers, Big Mouth Billy Bass. This little singing fish, created by Jimmy Industries, had no right to be as popular as it was. Conceived as a gag gift, it ended up turning into a massive viral sensation. Billy would sing songs like Take Me to the River and Don't Worry, Be Happy, while swaying back and forth. People couldn't get enough of it, and it earned Jimmy millions in sales. A truly bizarre success story. Next, we've got something that is as simple as it is ridiculous. The Pet Rock. Created by Gary Dahl in 1975, this was literally just a rock in a box with breathing holes. And it was marketed as the perfect low-maintenance pet. While it sounds like a joke, Dahl ended up making $15 million in just 6 months. People bought rocks. I mean, come on. There's something deeply fascinating about how the absurd can sometimes hit it big. And number 3 on our list, the Snuggie. Let's talk about the Snuggie, a blanket with sleeves. Who would have thought that a product so ridiculously simple could bring in over $200 million? Invented by Scott Boylan in 2008, the Snuggie became an instant hit, thanks to a hilariously absurd advertising campaign. Look it up on YouTube. It was a blanket, but it wasn't just any blanket. It was a blanket that you could wear, and people loved it. Can you blame them? Who doesn't love the idea of a cozy, wearable blanket? I know my grandkids still have their version of it, and they love it. I don't know. The Tamagotchi. If you grew up in the 90s, you remember this one. Created by Bandai in 1996, it was a digital pet that you had to feed, clean, and play with on a tiny screen. There was nothing more disturbing than see your little pet poop on the screen. And if you didn't, your little pet would die. Over 70 million Tamagotchis were sold, and honestly, it was probably the first pet many of us had. It was like a virtual responsibility test. We loved it, whether we passed or failed. I'm not sure what was wrong with the people in the 90s, but okay, who didn't have a slap bracelet in the 90s? Invented by Stuart Andrews, these were basically metal strips covered in fabric that when slapped around your wrist would curl and fit perfectly. Simple, right? But it became a huge craze. I still see them today. Andrews made between $6 million and $8 million off this childhood obsession. The sound alone of those things slapping on your wrist brings back memories. This next one, when it first came out, nobody understood. Smiley faces. You've seen them everywhere, right? Well, they were invented by Bernard and Murray Spain in 1971. A simple yellow circle with a smile, and it became one of the most recognizable symbols in the world. You still see it used in emojis. They earned $50 million from this simple little design, showing just how powerful something as small as a smile can be. All right, I'm almost embarrassed to talk about this next one. Let's move into the digital age with something a little less classy. The iFart app, created by Joel Comm in 2009. Yep, you guessed it. It's an app that makes fart noises. Every 7-year-old's dream. But somehow it became a hit. Kids, and let's be honest, a lot of adults, were obsessed, and Comm made around $400,000 off this hilarious concept. Sometimes the simplest things are the funniest. Here's one that still sort of exists in some form today. Remember the wacky wall walker? Invented by Ken Hakuda in the 80s, it was a sticky rubber toy that walked down walls when you threw it. It wasn't anything revolutionary. But Hakuda made a huge splash with it. After purchasing the rights from a Chinese manufacturer, he sold millions of these and earned $80 million. It's funny how something so simple can have such a great staying power. And now we're on to number 9. Let's talk about the Slinky. This classic toy was invented by Richard James in 1945 after a mishap with a spring. The Slinky is a toy that walks downstairs, and to this day is still a hit with kids. It's made $250 million over the years, proving that a little accidental invention can go a long way. I was never able to get one to walk down more than 2 or 3 stairs, but the TV ad sure showed that it could be done. I don't believe it. Next up, we've got another classic, the hula hoop. Invented by Arthur K. Mellon and Richard Nur in 1958, the hula hoop became an instant sensation. At its peak, more than 50,000 hula hoops were made every day. It's a fun, simple toy that earned millions and still shows up at toy stores today. I was never able to get more than a few spins, but I've seen some kids that could do it for about a half hour at a time, and they'd be able to spin more than one. And to prove that timing is everything, this next one just kind of blows my mind when you think about it. In 2005, Alex 2 had an idea that turned into something incredible. He created a website where he sold 1 million pixels, those are the little dots, for $1 each. Yep, you heard that right. He made $1 million in just 1 year. Talk about turning a crazy idea into a gold mine. Yeah, I'm jealous I didn't think of it first. This next one was cute, but I never understood the fascination then or now. Everyone remembers Beanie Babies, right? Invented by H. Ty Warner in the 90s, these little stuffed animals became the ultimate collectible. And they weren't just cute. People went nuts over them, and they do today, spending hundreds for rare ones. Warner ended up making up to $6 billion from Beanie Babies. Who knew tiny stuffed animals could be so valuable or desirable? This next one at number 13 was an item that when I first saw it, I thought, that's cute, they'll sell 2 of them. I was wrong. They're called doggles. Yes, they are dog goggles. Created by a company of the same name, these are protective eyewear for dogs. It's unclear why dogs need goggles, but people bought them anyway. And the company made millions selling them. Go figure. I've seen people put them on their dogs when they go for motorcycle rides, which is probably a good use. This next one I was first introduced to at a friend's house in about 1970, and I thought it was the coolest thing ever, and I'm glad I never bought one. But anyway, this one's been around for decades. The Magic 8-Ball, invented by Albert Carter and Abe Brookman in 1950. It's a toy that gives you answers to your yes or no questions. It's still a fun little mystery today, and it's made millions over the years, all by answering life's most important questions like, will I get the job? Ho, ho, ho! Ho, ho, ho! Let's change gears and seasons. If you want to believe in a little Christmas magic, there's Santa Mail. Started by Byron Reese in 2001, Santa Mail allows parents to send personalized letters from Santa. Since then, over 200,000 letters have been sent, and Reese has made a nice piece of change, all by bringing a little holiday joy to kids. Our next item on the list was invented by Scott Stillinger in 1987, the Koosh Ball, which was designed to be a soft, throwable toy that was easy for kids to hold. And hold on to it they did. It sold over 50 million units, making Stillinger a lot of money from a ball of rubber strings. For those of you who need to freshen up your mullet, this next one's for you. Now we come to one that made me cringe when I saw it, and I thought, there's a product that is looking for a solution to a problem that doesn't exist, and I was wrong. Now we've got the Flowbee, a hair cutter with a vacuum attached to it. Invented by Rick Huntz in 1986. It's not the most glamorous product, but it works. And it's made over 2 million sales. Sometimes convenience wins over looks. I'm glad my parents never had that. Silly putty. The stuff of childhood memories. It was actually invented accidentally by Harvey Chin, Earl Warwick, or James Wright in 1943 as a potential rubber substitute. But it became one of the most iconic toys, earning around $5 million every year since its creation. I remember as a young boy finding out that the ink on newsprint was not completely dry, and you could copy the comics using Silly Putty.
Cock-a-doodle-doo, snoring, kiss me.
This next one, created in 1998, is still showing up in the news once in a while because some people think that these were recording and spying on us. The Furbies. The Furby was created in 1998. It was a robotic toy that could speak its own language and eventually learn English. It sold over 40 million units in its first few years and remains a popular collector's item, proving that weird little creatures can make a big impact. I remember my kids used to put Furbies facing each other and they would talk back and forth, and it drove everybody nuts. I'm glad to see them gone. Well, at least from our home. All right, coming in at number 20, and honestly, I think this one should probably be number 1. Who could forget Billy Bob teeth? These novelty dentures made people look like they had crooked teeth, and they sold over 20 million units after being created by Jonah White and Richard Bailey in 1993. It's funny how a goofy idea can strike a chord. As far off the hook as doggles were, we now have dog wigs. And they are exactly what they sound like. Wigs designed for dogs. While this exact inventor remains unknown, probably for good reason, these novelty items became a popular trend, often used for fun or for pet photo shoots. Despite their seemingly ridiculous nature, dog wigs have made millions in sales. Pet owners everywhere have been buying these quirky accessories to give their pets a touch of personality or simply to make people laugh. That's one of those things that I think if you put on your dog, you should be arrested. Wow. As I scroll through this list, it just keeps getting better, or worse. Invented by Ken Aroni, the plastic wishbone was created as an alternative to the traditional turkey wishbone. The idea was simple. A plastic version of the wishbone sold for $3.99 that could be snapped for good luck. This invention made millions by turning into a fun, traditional practice with a modern twist. This product became a must-have at holiday dinners and eventually sold millions of units. Okay, I can understand why at holidays you don't have to wait for the bone to dry out. But really? A wishbone? This next one kind of boggles my mind, but I'll share with you a story about why I can see this happened. Invented by Jennifer Telfer in 2003, pillow pets are plush toys that fold into pillows. Inspired by your son's flattened stuffed animal, the design became an instant hit. Pillow pets quickly became a popular item for kids and even adults, offering both comfort and cuteness. Telfer's toy company, CJ Products, went on to make millions from this versatile, cozy creation. This last Christmas, my wife gave several of the grandkids little hand stitching kits that they could stuff and turn into small, soft toys. And you know what? They loved them. To me, it was the silliest thing ever, but they loved it. So she's on to something. Now, this next one, I'm not sure why they would put it on the list of 25 items that really probably should not have succeeded, but I kind of like this one. It's called Allermates. It was developed by Iris Shamus, a girl who suffered from food allergies. Allermates are fun, colorful, allergy alert products designed for children. The products, such as wristbands and stickers, help raise awareness about food allergies. Since their launch, Allermates have been sold in over 7,000 locations across the United States, making millions while helping kids with allergies feel more comfortable and safe. Now, this next one is amazing in that anybody bought it. Now, I have suffered from headaches and particularly migraines in the past, and so I hate to admit it, but I actually looked at this to see if it was serious. Distributed by Vision, there's a product called Head On. It's a topical headache relief product that gained popularity due to a viral infomercial, despite lacking scientific research to support its effectiveness. The product, essentially a wax-like stick meant to be applied to the forehead like chapstick, became a commercial success and generated millions in sales. Its infamy grew through its over-the-top claims and catchy advertising, leading to a surprising market presence. It was effective because, yes, I did look at it. No, I did not buy it. And I'm glad no one gave it to me as a gift. And that's the end of our list. So, what's the takeaway? The world is full of weird and wonderful ideas, whether it's a singing fish or a plastic wishbone. Sometimes the strangest concepts are the most profitable. Maybe the next $1 million idea is sitting in your garage, or your backyard is a rock. Success is weird, and that's what makes it fun. In a previous episode, I asked for your opinion and feedback on how you would handle the situation of a young boy doing what was right and telling the authorities about a potential problem. And overwhelmingly, the responses that I received were that he was right, the parents were wrong, to prevent their child from associating with this young boy who had done what was right. And I want to give you an update on what's going on with the privacy episode I've been working on. I'm still working on it because there's still some incidents going on. In fact, I will tell you now that one of the cities involved has repeated their actions and they still won't talk about it. And I will share with you what's going on, how that happened, and other tidbits that I think you'll find interesting, fun, but always entertaining. Thanks for tuning in to Grandpa's Hymn. Until next time, stay curious, stay amused, and keep questioning how the weirdest things make millions. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Grandpa is Him. We hope you enjoyed our discussion and stories, and maybe even found some inspiration for your own family adventures. Now, we want to hear from you. What questions do you have, or what topics would you like us to explore in future episodes? What stories can you share? Share your ideas. Simply visit our website at grandpaishim.com and fill out the submission form. You can also reach out to us on email at grandpaishim.com@gmail.com. We're always looking for your thoughts and experiences, so don't be shy. Join the conversation and help us create the content that matters to you and your family. Until next time, keep laughing, keep sharing, and keep those ideas coming.